Hey guys, myself Sagar and welcome to my brand new channel, Sage Architect.
Yo, where my red lights at?
प्रभाती फिर से शुरू करते हैं. So the first row of Revit, it shows there are three sample projects. There is sample one is architectural project, structural project, and system project. So these are the three templates which architecture provide. When you open a new folder, you have four kinds of templates. Then there is family row. There are n numbers of families. These are just some examples. You almost everything in Revit is based on a family. So yeah. So moving forward, in the left you have then models and families, open new, recent files. You have recent files. So this is a recent file, and more recent file can be found here if you are working on something. The good thing about Revit is that most of the things you can find in Revit itself. I will show you in some time what I mean by that. I'll tell you what I mean by that. Till then, let's start with a new project. We go to new, and then here are some templates as I told you. So there is mechanical, structural, architecture, and construction. Construction template is a template in which you can do all the construction part of work, putting, shear walls or columns, all those kinds of things. Structure is where you can do, architectural is where you can make the model itself. So eventually what happens, these four templates are where if different parts of your house or building is made, and from that different parts it is combined in some other software or in Revit itself. There are many analytical tools which can be used to see for collision, and of course BIM itself is a thing. So BIM, what is BIM? BIM is information building information modeling. So it helps you in, so if you try to understand, BIM is like everything in your project. So everything correct in your project, accurate, and the important thing in Revit itself is the accuracy. So everything which you're gonna do or make should be accurate enough, and that's why I suggest every time, if you are using Revit for whatsoever reason, and if you want to make a proper perfect model, then always make sure that you know what you want to make. Because if you're gonna think that okay, I will start Revit and I will make something out of it, it's not possible. Because practically speaking, on in real life also, we don't design like that. We don't just open AutoCAD and start making stuff, though we do, right? But still, in Revit it's not that easy, because there are many aspects which has to be taken care of from the starting, or else at the end the model will be very heavy or the model will be very cluttered, which will be very hard to manage at that time. So moving forward, as I was saying, there are these four templates. Moving forward, as I was saying, there are four templates here. There is construction, architectural, structure, and mechanical. So we go through all these templates. So generally for architects, we have to just know the architectural template, because that's what is important. Construction template is again for the construction guy, structure is for structural guy, mechanical is for the let's say mechanical is for the electrical, plumbing, HVAC, for those guys. So, and all this becomes a project, and after all of these are added to one project, then it becomes a proper Revit project. So yeah, so moving forward, let's open architectural project. So when you open the project, this is the UI which you get. Although the UI have been stayed similar for all of the life I know Revit from 2011. I have used first Revit which I used was 2011. So from 2011 till yet, there is not much changes in Revit system. So let's talk about this. So this is the UI. The first thing, as I was saying, that it is very much important to know what you are making, because Revit does not allow you to do anything stupid, or let's say it does not allow you to make something which is not generally possible in real life. It is possible, right? You can make anything, but since it is a software, it has a limit till which it can go. Like till on this version, you can make slant walls. In Revit 2021, you can make tapered walls. You know, the walls which are broad in the base and narrow on the top, or broad on the top, narrow on the bottom. So you can do those kinds of stuff then. In this version, you can make a slant walls, and I think in this version we cannot edit slant walls profile, but let's see, we'll figure it out. So that's the thing about. So right now we are incorporating more and more stuff in Revit. That's why when we talk about to make something parametric, so you can make something parametric, but to create a curve or to create something which is, you know, a little bit of slanted or tapered or edged, or deformed deconstructionism, so that kind of stuff is a little hard to model. But if you know what you want to make, you can do it. There is no doubt in that. There is no doubt in that if you know what you want to make, you can make it. There is no problem at all. So moving forward, so this is the layout. So these are all. So here you can see there are different types of tabs. These tabs showcase different aspects of what Revit can do for you. For example, architecture have all the features or functions which is required to make a building. Let's say walls, doors, windows. Component is something, column, roof, ceiling, floor, right? These are the main things, and architecture provide, and there are many more stuff which we'll talk about later. But in the architectural tab, you will get everything you require to make a house architecturally. Second comes structure. So in here, as you can see, all the structure related tools are here, like beams, columns, floor, trusses, brace, beam system, connections, footings, reinforcement. So all kinds of things which is required to make a structural drawing or to create a structure is available here. Next comes steel. So steel is for fabrication, of course. So there are many features. So the thing is, if you have studied structure, you will be able to identify, okay, what this is, what that is. It's like that. Someone who is an architect, he will understand this column there. Someone who is a structural designer, he will understand this column there. Then it's steel. Steel is a new feature which is added to it. It was not there before. So next is a system. In system, you have HVAC, fabrication, mechanical, plumbing, electrical, and that's it. So you have all the instruments, all the components which are required to make a HVAC system. You have all the components required to do a plumbing system. You have all the components required to make a electrical drawing. So, and it's a very interesting when you see how these plumbing and electrical drawings or HVAC drawings are made. It's very amazing, like on a next level kind of a thing. Moving forward, then there's an insert tool, just like AutoCAD. You can add some things like whatever you like to add. Then there is annotation. Let's say we completed our model, and now what happens, and if you're using Revit, I will suggest you should not go to AutoCAD after this. So let's say you make a base plan on AutoCAD and you bring it to Revit, and from Revit you don't have to go anywhere. Of course, you have to go to a 3D software, but except for that, everything can be done in Revit itself. You can do dimensioning, you can do all kinds of dimensioning which is done in AutoCAD. Yeah. Then you have some details options, like if you want to add detail, well, like details and this kind of stuff. Though for beginners or for even intermediate, I will suggest that you make your model, proper model in Revit, and let's say you have to make some detailed drawing of some particular part of the drawing, then you can definitely go to AutoCAD and make it there. You can make it here also, but you can work on it, but eventually if you want to get it done faster, you can go and get it done there, because in Revit you have to understand the aspects, like what you have to do so you will get this kind of stuff. So in the first year of using Revit, it's hard that you will be able to make detailed drawings of that level. Next on analysis. So these are all the analysis tools available in Revit. Like for as you can see, there's an analytical model for load combination of it, or for the structural load. There are more stuff. There are space and zone. This is for architectural. This is for architectural. This is for architectural, and there are many more. And it will be, and this particular column has been updated regularly with every update. Like before, there were not this many options. Slowly, more and more things are incorporated in the version itself. So the more we move forward with the updates, we'll get more and more good stuffs here. Like more analytical tools which will be easier to use and all this. Next on massing. So what you cannot do in the architectural column, you can do it here. You can make anything here if you know how to do a simple modeling in SketchUp, right? So as in the diagram you can see, you can make curved walls and you can make a curtain system on that curved wall. So that is something interesting, right? It's easier to be done here. So again, as I said, you should know what you have to make. Then it's easier to know, okay, then I will use this particular function, or I will use this particular function, and I will be able to make it. So massing and site. So massing, these are the options for massing. So you can make any kind of form, shapes here. That is something which can be taught. This part is very similar to SketchUp or Rhino. If you are a Rhino user, the commands which are used inside this are similar as the drafting in Rhino itself. Similarly, next component is Topo Surface, site component, and these are different kinds of things which are used, like parking component, right? Building pads. These are the functions which we use on building itself, or let's say we have to make some terrain and all those kinds of things. So we can use it there. Just a second. The good thing about Revit is that if you want to make a topo surface, that is hilly area, hilly region, and all those kinds of things, it is very easy to do it in Revit. So there are options. You can get the survey data from the department, or you can acquire it from some place, and you can put the data in the software, and it will create the 3D surface itself. Or you can do it manually by creating all the contour lines. Generally, the figure you get after the contour, after the survey is done. So there are two ways of doing it. And right now, with all those updates which we are getting with the Navis system and that's Bhuvan app, there is this website Bhuvan in which all the data related to India is available. So you can go there, and some of the data is available. So you can use that to create your topography and all this. It is being updated and upgrading slowly, and after sometimes it will be very easy. We can just incorporate both of the things to make a better workflow for ourselves. Because we are using GIS and all those kinds of technology, and we are very accurate in mapping what the situations are on land. Okay, so and that's a good thing, right? We can use all those datas and make our drawings accurate as much as we can. The survey part will be a little easier for us. Now this is collaboration tab. So this is all related to when you're working with more people, and you're organizing a total group and all those kinds of stuff. Moving forward, then again we have here view tab. Then these are all the features which are required to create, or to set the views, like what you want to see, what you don't want to see, like show hidden lines, remove hidden lines. Rendering, there are some rendering tools here. Then do you want to see the 3D sections, plan views, and there are n number of things. Schedules, you want to make some schedule of number of doors, number of windows, amount of concrete you have used. So all those kinds of thing is available here. Then we have some sheet composition. Yeah, you can make sheets in Revit also. Again, it is a little hard stuff, but we can do it. Moving forward, then we have manage tools, and I'll take a short 5 minutes break and I'll come back to you guys. See you soon. हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक। हम बढ़ते हैं अब आगे। तो हम लोग व्यू पे थे। व्यू में जैसे कि मैंने बताया, ओके, सो एज आई टोल्ड यू, इन व्यूज वी गेट visibility settings, rendering options, 3D settings, some sheet options. Then we get some options like windows, like if you want to see two windows, you want to see in tab view, you want to see tiles view, and then you get user interface. So user interface is the point which gives you every aspects of your whatever you are seeing right here. So from navigation bar to project browser, properties, there are more options. Status bar, status worksheets, status design options. Now you can go into advanced settings and create your own shortcuts. Organize your whole browser experience like you want to have it. So there are more options. I like to keep it default because it's easier that way, sorted. Then there is manage options. Here you can manage different parameters of your project or of your elements, or you can take care of the materials, snapping tools, project information. Then what is your project location, some design options. This is again some advanced tools which we'll look into as we move forward with the tutorials. Then we have manage links. So this is a column which will be very helpful when we are making big projects, like a project which has more than 1, 2, 3 buildings. But after sometimes what happens, even on a good to good computer, Revit starts to lag. So to avoid Revit to crash or to keep the files lighter, we use these options. We use link. We use, if you want to add CAD file, you can add it from here, and many more features. Then we have some add-ins. All the add-ins plugins which you put in Revit will come here. Then we have modify tool. Modify tool is here, and here you can see all the modification tools, same as AutoCAD. We have stretch, move, copy, offset, mirror, rotate, trim, extend, and erase, scale, and different small options which are very much important. So we'll talk about it in future. Secondly, you can see this column, and this column is the, and now you can see on the left hand side there are two columns. So there are two different headers. So one is property header and the second is project browser header. So let's talk about first project browser. As you can see in project browser, all the views like level plan 1, plan 2, ceiling elevations, north elevations, south elevations. Ceiling plan is like the plan which we make, the inverted plan. Then we have some legend, schedule. As right now we don't have any of this, but as we add on to this, we'll get more plus options in these columns also, like legend, schedule, sheets. We have a family option. All the types of family which we have used here will show here. Then we have group options, all the groups which we have made right now. Then we have Revit links, all the different Revit files which we have attached to this particular project. So this is like a brief browser of your project, and that's why it's project browser. Then there is this property tool. So the property tool is the tool which you're going to use for the property panel, which you're going to use the most. Like there are these tools, but majority of the work can be done from the here only. And then there is edit type option. So let's say I make a wall and I want to change some aspects of this wall. So I can do it with edit type of option. Oh, sorry, let me select it, and then I go to edit type option, and then you can do whatever changes you want to make in this particular project. So that's how it is made. And again, then there are different options for different materials. Like for wall, there are different options in property panel. For the view itself, there are different options. For 3D view, for 3D view we have different options, and then we have some small options here also which we're gonna use to navigate through all of our projects. And that's how the entire Revit introduction is. Like you get all these small options here, then the legend, then the property panel, and these. So the tools are very minimum. The tools are only that much which are required to make a house, simple, or a building, simple as that. That is walls, windows, door, roof, floor, slab, ceiling, glass panels. That's it. Railing, stairs, ramps. All these options are available here. After making a model, we start detailing it, and the more we detail it, the model itself goes to on different levels of detailing. So there are level of detail, LOD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are different levels, which is known as level of detail, that is LOD in short. So the more detail we add into the model, the higher it gets into the LOD level. So in some projects, let's say if you're doing a big project, like a very big project, some client will say that, okay, we'll work on a model which will be on LOD level 5, LOD 5. So then you have to make sure you get that much detail into the model. So it can, right now, we'll talk about LODs also, but let's say LOD 1 is just an architectural model, nothing else, just walls, columns, and doors, windows. That's all the stuff. Moving forward, LOD 2 will have the quantitative analysis or the room legend. Let's say this is room 1, room 2, area, volume, like this, and maybe let's add quantity into it, like how much door, how much windows. And moving forward, the level of details start increasing. We get more into depth. Okay, then we are using, let's say, we are using M20. So how much concrete, how much fine sand, how much coarse sand, how much water. We add the details, we get the quantitative analysis, we get the load analysis, we get the light analysis, daylight analysis, and we add on to the project. So the more we add on, the bigger our project browser gets, and the more details it gets. And that's why it is important to make sure and remember from where you have to go. That means from the starting point to the end point, you should know to what point you have to make your model, or what is the use of your model. Like sometimes some people will make a model just for architectural view, right? So there is no need to quantifying the project, because it's a very small project. The quantification of the material is not required, except for the door, window schedule, and all those stuff. So in that case, you can make a very rough model and get the views and 3Ds done in Revit. The good thing will be that you will be able to have the sections available, so you can get the sections right, a little bit of ups and downs. But if you want to have a section, then you have to make sure that you are making proper projections, proper slopes and all those things. So it can be done, but you have to decide what purpose you are making the model for. Like in my thesis project itself, I made the floor plans in a way that I can take it directly to Photoshop and render it there, because that time my my laptop was not that much powerful that I can do all the stuff in Revit. So I decided to, okay, I will make the model, I will take the floor plans, and I will do Photoshop on it. So that's how I did my floor plans for mall, for offices, and all those kind of stuff. And in Photoshop itself, I added furnitures, benches, trees, and all those stuff, because that time my laptop was not that no great, or it cannot handle that much load of Revit. Revit is a very heavy software, let me tell you, but you can make a model in a i3 also, or in a i5 also. You can make an entire apartment in a i5. You have to know the tricks and tips. Oh, the tips and tricks. So you can make the model as light as possible, and doing what you want to do in the model. Okay, like you can create links, you can create groups, you can create components, and copy it, so the project weight is lighter. So it is possible. Like if you have a i5 with a medium processor, you can make it. You can do all your work in Revit, It's just that we have to make sure that how you gonna proceed for the model or how you gonna make the model, that matters the most. So that's why it is necessary to look for the tips and tricks all the time. That's why it is necessary to look for the tips and tricks all the time. Okay, moving forward, so this was a simple introduction on what are the elements, what are here, and what you want and what you should take care before you're doing. So as I said, you can use any kind of laptop. The UI of Revit is very simple because it does not give you a lot of options. There are very limited options. Once you know all the options, you can do anything which your creativity allows you to do. And then there are some systems. We'll talk about systems when we move into the when we advance with all these kinds of stuff, because there's a lot. As I told you, the level of details which I'm talking about creates a difference. That's all which matters. From what point to what point you have to go, that's all that matters. What level of model you need, that is the only thing which matters, and that will also decide how you're going to approach the project, because adding material to Revit is also a very hard task. Let me remind you and let me tell you this: adding material to Revit is harder than making a model itself, because we'll talk about it later when we move forward in the project. So this was a small introduction video about the UI of Revit and all those and all other stuff. In the following videos, we'll talk about all the options, what are the options, how you're gonna change the options, and different and many different kind of stuff. There, this is only the sub. These are only the headers. The subheadings are more, and the subheadings are even more. So there are many things which are inside the options, and then more options, and then more options. So we're going to look into all the stuff. Till then, enjoy, have fun, and thank you for joining the stream. Like, share, and subscribe. More and more content is on the way. Thank you so much.
Architect.